I've got a quick question for you, alright? I wanna hear your thoughts, I wanna know what's on your mind. I've got a quick question for you, alright? The answer's not important, I'm just glad that we could talk tonight. So what's your favourite? How did you get? When will I be remembered? Was it ever? Where did all go? Why do we know? Oh, forget it. Soren, Daniel O'Brien, two best friends and comedy writers. If there's an answer, they're gonna find it. I think you'll have a great time here. I think you'll have a great time here.
So, hello again and welcome to another episode of Quick Question with Soren and Daniel, the podcast where two best friends and comedy writers ask each other questions and give each other answers. I am one half of that podcast, senior writer for Last Week Tonight, author of How to Fight Presidents, and cruise boy Daniel O'Brien, joined as always by my co-host, Mr. Soren Bowie. Soren, say hello!
Did you delineate between like the horn sounds of a car, a cruise ship, and say like a train? Like, can you do those if you were to a gun to your head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you telling me I can't see behind me right now. Is there a gun to my head?
Yeah, there's a gun.
Okay.
And first they want you to do just a car, because that's the easy one. Oh my God, that's really good.
Thanks. Soren, I don't want to brag, but I get honked at a lot when I'm driving. People are not pleased with how I handle the road.
Please join us in thanking our sponsor, Factor, delivering delicious, fresh, never frozen meals that are ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes. Head to factormeals.com/QQ50 and use code QQ50 to get 50% off.
Thanks to Raycon for supporting Quick Question. School's back in session, which means Raycon is having their annual back to school sale. For a limited time only, go to buyraycon.com/QQ today to get 20% off site-wide plus free shipping.
All right, we'll do a cruise ship.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
And now please do a train.
this is going to be my weakest because I don't know how to vocalize it.
Yeah, I know.
Nope. I was in trouble pretty early on.
I do it with my kids a lot just because we play with ships and stuff like that, and I have to do the noises. And boy, the difference between a ship and a train really drove me crazy for a while.
It's also it's really strange that like when you're doing animal noises with kids and you want to teach them what the thing sounds like, that's going to stay pretty consistent, but it's tough. I don't know if your son is there yet, but at some point you're going to have to tell him, now son, you're old enough to know this. Trains don't go choo-choo, choo-choo. They just don't. That's one of the other lies we train you on. I don't know why we do it.
We train you on. He never really did that. But he was, I've talked about it before, he didn't talk for a very long time. He would just do car noises. And like, I would be at my brother's house or something, and he'd just be on the ground going, and just like driving a car around for long periods of time. And my brother would be like, is he okay? It's like, yeah, I think so. I think it's fine.
He's better than okay. Listen how fucking fast he is.
Yeah. But he would do, because I did car noises with him when he was really little, he emulated my car noises in the same way that like in a different culture, like a rooster doesn't go cockle-doodle-doo, it goes kikity-kikity-key. Like right. Whoever tells you how it sounds is like, oh, they're the ones who broke it. I will copy that.
Right.
So he actually is really good at car noises. He's wonderful at it.
That's cool.
Let me see if I can do it. So first of all, car, I mean, this isn't even going to hold a candle to yours, but I do like a...
Oh, wow. That makes me feel like you're going to be good at train, because there's like, you have to split your throat to make the whistle sound also happen, and I couldn't do that. One other point I think I'll make is that the reason my cars was as amazing as it was, you really got in my head, because you're like, let's start with the easy one. Car, go, easy. Like,
yeah. You ever heard...
Don't say beep. Don't say honk.
That's what I would have done. Honk, honk. You ever heard Tig Notaro do her impression of a bike horn?
No.
It's unbelievable. Tig Notaro, famous comedian, very funny. She does one impression, and it's of a bike horn, and it's fucking so spot on that I'm like, that's a really good bit. To only have one impression and be an inanimate object and nail it.
And for a person who, if you've watched 5 minutes of her stand-up, you would not clock her as, oh, this is an impression comedian. This is someone who's gonna do not even impressions, but silly voices or silly noises. That's just not her vibe at all. That's very funny for her.
She does like a or it's I can't replicate it. But so yeah, obviously cruise ship did mine earlier. It was a but then a train horn. God, on the spot, it's tough. It's like a
Yeah.
No, you know what? I'm not nailing. I got to get into the character is the problem. I need to
know.
like figure out what kind of train.
And I don't have my my headphones for podcasting are not wireless because what I want to do, I want to be able to move for a train sound because I can't think of a train sound without thinking of it passing me and getting louder and then getting quieter.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, that would really add to it.
Yeah.
Added dimension to it. Anyway, Daniel, sorry to take us on this tangent. Are you going on a cruise, good sir?
I got back from a cruise.
Oh, a family cruise.
Yeah, my whole family. And just to get ahead of one thing, the strike has not been a vacation for any of us striking. This cruise was booked maybe 7 months ago to align with a planned work hiatus. And it was money already spent back when the money was never going to go away. So it's not like I'm just self-conscious of the idea of just like the image of writers using this strike time to travel around and do things. That was not this particular case.
It was summer. Everybody's traveling. I used that time. I did something I'd never done before, which was go to Wisconsin and get Lyme's disease.
Right.
And I wanted to just give that a shot.
Which is
badly.
You know, exactly what the studios have been saying. These selfish writers, they just want to get Lyme's disease.
They want all the experiences. They're like sponges. So Dan, I got a lot of questions. First of all, there's alcohol on this cruise, right? And is it included?
It is not included, but we splurged for the package, and there are several caveats to that. The first thing I'll say is like the reason that we did a Bermuda cruise and got the nicer package is because this year coincides with milestone birthdays for both of my parents, and they are cruise crazy folks, and the siblings and sisters-in-law and I got together and we just knew we wanted like not just to get them a cruise because they liked cruises, but specifically we have a big and now mixed family that we are almost never all together for extended periods of time because families are going to different in-laws and whatnot for holidays and stuff. We get like one day a year where the entire family is together for a meal, and then the rest of it is just like whatever groups can assemble for different things. But this time we were committed, like, let's get all the kids, all the grandkids, and the grandparents on one boat for 5 days. And let's make it a nice trip with the fancy package for alcohol. That said, caveat number one about cruises, which will probably come as no surprise, is that they, as soon as you get the nice package and close the deal, you get emails from the cruise that is like, hey, do you want to upgrade to the really nice package where like you get open bar, but like it's open bar to a point. Now this other package has the things that you want. And it's, I know I've beaten this drum before about like airplanes specifically, where they keep finding new, better things. Oh, you're in the Gold Club. That's really cool. There's also the Platinum Club, and there's the Pilot's Platinum Club. Like all these different tiers that are better than the thing you thought you were getting when you thought you were
more
getting the best
exclusivity.
Thing. Yeah.
So,
to be absolutely clear, it was a very fun cruise. I mean, ask your questions.
Yeah. I've never been on a cruise. I am very curious about them. I'm curious about them in the same way that I'm very curious about a senior citizen home, where like I love the idea of it. I love the idea of living like with all my buddies again, like it's college, or like being all in the same area. In practice, though, people come back from cruises and they're like, I hate cruises. Sometimes they're cruise people, but other people who are like, no, I'm never doing it again. I'm like, well, why not? And they're like, the reasons are always so weird. They're like, well, everyone gets norovirus. And I'm like, sure. Did you? I'm like, no, but that's just what happens on cruises. I'm like, okay. And then other people say that you're just so trapped. And I'm like, the cruise ship, I've seen a cruise ship. It's huge.
Yeah.
I've been places where I just spent all that time in a hotel. It's the same thing. What's the real issue?
I would say my opinion on cruises based on limited data is mid-range. I'm not cruise crazy right now, but I hate cruises. I'm never going to go on a cruise again. I think to help you understand it, it's for me, I made a lot of comparisons to going to Vegas for the first time and how it both met and fell wildly short of my expectations. My impression when I was going to Vegas for the first time was like, this is Vegas. We're going to dress up in suits. We're going to get our nice haircuts, and we're going to be like high rollers doing this fancy thing. And there are some people who do that, but there's also a whole lot of trash there. And I kind of had that same expectation going into the cruises, where it's like cruise, because we grew up the way we did and never took cruises as a family, exists in my brain as like the height of luxury. My Aunt Patty, shout out to Aunt Patty who was listening, when we were younger and she had talked about a cruise, she was like, you can go and you sit by the pool and they bring you chicken fingers. And I was like, there can't be anything in the world fancier than being on a pool, on a boat, and being fed chicken fingers on demand. That is gotta be the height of luxury. So I went into this thinking like, this is very fancy vacation mode. We're gonna have mimosas and we're all gonna dress like we're in vacation mode. Like I got fucking 9 different annoying Hawaiian Bermuda shirts, button-down shirts, and
9 is a lot.
Loud bathing suits for a 5-day cruise. There's all this stuff and like different options. So like, oh, maybe there's a night where we can all dress up. We had a black and white night where we're wearing fancy clothes, and I brought a sports coat because it's my expectation is that like, yeah, it's a boat and it's vacation, but you know, we're according to a 12-year-old's imagination, the fanciest people on the planet. And some people, same as Vegas, they do have that same instinct. They get the memo and they're like, we're gonna be on this boat with our friends or family, and it's vacation, and there are gonna be a lot of pictures taken. So dress like we're in a commercial for cruises all the time. But there are people also like Vegas who are like, no, I'm on fucking vacation. It's armpits out all day. It's shitty shorts. I'm so glad I get to be in a casino and smoke at the same time, which is another thing you could do in Vegas and on a boat. And that's part of why I'm doing this trip, is so I can smoke indoors again. I don't know why that's so important to me, but it is. And that's all I want to do on vacation, is dress like a piece of shit and smoke indoors.
Yeah.
So it's a mixed bag. I feel like I've painted an accurate picture of cruises in general. That said, the college dorm and nursing home comparison is pretty apt too, because no matter what else is going on, I was, again, with my entire family, and that's the people who I spent my time with, and it's super fun. It's you know, you spend time with the people that you want, and like, I got to have dinner with my whole family a couple of days in a row, and that doesn't really happen. We took a snorkeling trip and we got to jump off cliffs, my favorite thing, and just like, you know, you wander around this boat that has a million bars and a casino and a bunch of restaurants and water slides and jogging track and a mini golf course and basketball hoops, and you wander around and you just bump into your family. You bump into the people that you want to see. It's like, oh, hey, what are you doing? You want to... Hey, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You want to get hot dogs at the buffet? Let's fucking do it. It's the sea. Who cares? You don't have anywhere to be. None of us have internet. Let's just look at each other and talk.
That's the other element of that, of being on a cruise, that is deeply appealing to me, is that there's just like food ready for you at all hours of the day. And that you just want, you're like, well, let's go eat something. And you walk in, you're like, I guess I'll have some soft serve right now. No, I changed my mind. I want a waffle. And you can just do that.
Right. They're prepared for that. It's awesome.
Because when I go on trips, that's always like the thing that brings me the most anxiousness is the food situations. Like, what are we going to, everybody's going to want something different. We're all going to have to decide together. Then we got to go to a restaurant and we're like, make sure we get a table big enough for all of us. We got to worry about bill. Like all these things. And it seems like on a cruise, they're like, no. Don't worry about food. It's like being a child again. Yeah. Like you just play and play and play until you're hungry. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm starving. Somebody feed me. Oh, thank you.
It's really changed the way I operate with food. I enjoyed it at the time, but definitely for my diet's sake, definitely for the worse, where I'm just like, you know what I could really go for right now is chicken fingers, mac and cheese, a hot dog, and what else do they have? Oh, there's a ramen station. Yeah, I guess, sure. When else am I going to have all of this at the same time?
I love going into a place and like being like, I hope they surprise me. Let's see what's out there. A chicken au jus. What is that? That sounds great.
I think the worst and most decadent thing that I did multiple times at a vague approximation of lunchtime, I went to the French fry station and got some fries on my plate, and then I was going to wander around to find what my actual meal was going to be. And by the time I did a lap, I'd eaten all the French fries while moving, and then got more French fries to accompany whatever my meal was. Because, again, we don't allow French fries in my home. I never have them. And this place is just, it's just begging me to take them.
Yeah, it's like they have too many. There's surplus of French fries. And then rooms. Are the rooms really tiny?
We got a small room. Everyone else in my family, because they were traveling with kids, or they were my parents, and this was like a gift to them. We got them a room with a balcony and like some standing room and some sitting room even. And my belief was, we're not going to be, the ship is huge. We are not going to be, we're in the room only for sleeping. Why are we paying an extra however many $100? Because the jump from like the cheapest room to a nicer room is significant. A decision I regretted. It was because it's true that you like, if you're spending your entire time in the room, you are doing the cruise wrong. But there's something to be said for, this is where I'm going to sit and have my coffee, and there's just no real room for that in the cheapest and most economy of windowless dungeon rooms on the cruise.
You don't even get one of those little portal windows?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. And surely there was a TV in there, though, right?
There was, but we never used it because I as soon as I walked in, it was doing things like hotels do, where they just tell you all about the cruise, and I'm like, fuck this, get out of here.
Well, I'm just next time, if you just pop that on American Dad and just let it play for a while, I wouldn't complain.
I apologize. That was not.
That goes for everybody out there. If you say you're gonna sleep on a plane, just for like, you're not gonna be looking at it, but just like for me, just pop on American Dad.
Statistically, even if you're in some situation where the TV only has 6 channels, one of them's American Dad.
One of them is the American Dad channel.
You're gonna have the cruise channel, the weather channel, the American Dad channel, and the ridiculousness channel.
Yeah. By the way, American Dad is on 2 of those, by the way. So really good chance you find it. It's basically Sweet Child of Mine on a classic rock station. It's gonna be on your radio right now, I promise you. Hey, we're coming up on the holiday season, folks. I know, it's approaching quickly. If you think about it, like after Halloween, it's just a domino effect. They all start coming and you get busy. Well, there's a way that you can at least take one thing off of your plate, and that's Factor. I didn't realize I made the pun there. With the busy fall season already in swing, you might be looking for a wholesome, convenient meal for jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. I've had this. I love it. I had one that I generally don't eat beef, but I ate their beef crumble with jalapeno, and it was awesome. There was like a creamed cauliflower with it. I just mixed it all together. They they said they put a little wall in between them, and they're like, yeah, these are two different things. This one's the side, this one's the meal. And I said, no, I can make my own rules because I'm home alone and I've got the microwave, and mix them together, and it was outstanding. So if you're too busy running around doing the day-to-day to think about lunch, keep your energy up with the lunch to go. It's effortless, wholesome. There's grain bowls, there's salad toppers. It's all ready to eat when you're ready to eat. Head to factormeals.com/QQ50 and use code QQ50 to get 50% off. Also, you can level up to the Gourmet Plus option, prepared to perfection by chefs ready to eat in record time. Treat yourself to upscale meals with premium ingredients like broccolini, leeks, truffle butter, asparagus, all the hits. They're all there. The top shelf items. It's all for you. And if you need an extra boost to support your wellness goals and feel your best as you tackle a busy autumn, try the Protein Plus meals with 30 grams of protein or more per serving. This September, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Basically no prep, no mess. Head to factormeals.com/QQ50 and use code QQ50 to get 50% off. That's QQ50 at factormeals.com/QQ50 to get 50% off. Well, that sounds great. I'm glad you had a good time.
Have
one
you
more
ever
question.
had any? Oh, go ahead. No, you finish yours first.
I wanted to ask if with the kids, like, did the kids just get to do like kids camps there, and like parents just had vacation time, or were they? Like,
they did, yeah. And this is it's probably very obvious in retrospect, but it's I hadn't anticipated it, but it's like the smartest thing the crews can do, which is they have like whatever they call it, Splash Academy for kids and teens, and like Guppy Academy for very little kids. And you drop them off and then you pick them up later. And their drop-off times we've seen to be like, yeah, drop them off at 9 p.m. and pick them up at 1. Parents are not allowed in here. It's safe and we're taking care of them. Go. The problem they're solving is they know parents probably think like, oh, if I put my kids to bed, I can't just leave my kids, but I want to like party and drink on this boat. And Splash Academy is like, yeah, no, we got that. Your kid is going to be so excited that they get to stay up until 1 a.m. that it doesn't even matter what happens in here. And
man,
the kids were fucking stoked all the time. They were really crazy about going to Splash Zone, all the kids in the family. And I happened to be walking by when a dad was dropping off a kid, and I heard the dad talking to the wife and go, what do you think goes on in there? They're so excited to get there. They've never been this excited. And the mom just said, video games probably, which is probably true. I would guess that the entire thing is like, here's some crafts, here's a TV with Disney movies you've seen a million times. Here is a Mario Kart tournament. Here is Minecraft, whatever kids are, Fortnite, whatever they're doing. And when you're a kid and you spend an entire day on a boat doing fun pool stuff, I'm sure you're also just like, you get video game withdrawals and you just want to return to your friends and your normal screen time. And the boat allows for that. And it's such a gift to parents.
Yeah, that's the other element of cruises that really shines high for me, is that you get to actually have a vacation.
Yeah.
There's like a whole, because so many vacations, I'm about to go to Legoland this weekend, and I'm just like really gearing myself up for it because I know that it's going to be tough as a parent to be there. It's hot, it's crowded, your kids want very different things, they're hungry all the time or tired. Like, you are there for them. And that's how most vacations are for us now in our lives. And the idea that you would go somewhere and then they've also accounted for the fact that like, oh no, and we'll also take your children, thank you very much, is the dream.
Do you have any interest in going on a cruise?
Yeah, of course, a lot of interest. But that for the same reason as like a nursing home, like at the minute I get there and it's not what I wanted, I'm stuck.
Right.
I don't know if there's a way out. So I've always been very nervous about it, and it's always been, my family disparaged them growing up. Why? It wasn't like that was like the height of luxury. It was like, oh no, those are cruise people. Like that's a different breed. We don't do that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
it seems so luxurious to me. And like, I remember being in middle and elementary school and kids coming back from their summer cruises and just thinking like, man, that's the ticket.
Yeah. It's got to be great for kids. It's got to be an unbelievable experience. It's like summer camp, basically, but on a giant boat. Did you do a lot of running?
I did, yeah. There was a jogging track, but it's not, and this particular boat was not like completely isolated. And so the first time I ran, I was running at like 11:30 in the morning, and it's near where other people are congregating. And like the track is clearly marked, and there are things that say run this way. So I'm running, but I'm also like on your left. I'm constantly dodging people, or I'm slowing my run because there's people and they don't expect me to be there. And at that time, I'm annoyed that people are walking on the jogging track and not paying attention. But I'm also very aware of the fact that like I'm an asshole too. I'm the asshole who's running at 11:30 on vacation day. And so every other time I ran after that was at like 7:30 range.
Yeah.
Or I ran in Bermuda when we were there, which is a lovely place. And there's something,
great,
Soren. Mm-hmm. Maybe you understand the science of this better than I do, but the track on this boat says for a mile you have to do 8 laps. That's how long this course was. And so like your standard high school track is going to be 4 laps. That's standard
half
everywhere.
the size.
So this was half the size, and so I'm running 8, and I am running like a 6:30 mile consistently.
Wow.
And I tried to use on the second day I ran. I tried to use my my mileage app that I always use, and that also was not helpful because in acquiring my GPS signal, it's counting my steps, but also it's like I'm moving the speed of the boat. So then I'm running 3-minute miles because it's just tracking where I am physically in the world. And I'm like, well, that's not right either. But like doing my own mental math of how many laps I'm doing, I feel like I'm faster than I've ever been. And I was talking to my brothers who also ran on it, and I was like, is it just because it's such a small lap that it like mentally makes me move faster because it just feels so much more encouraging? And my brother suggested that like you are moving and the boat is moving, so every time you're in the air, you're moving a little bit faster or a little bit farther.
No, that's not true.
All right.
Because of this, for the same reason that like even if you have all the windows down in your car, if you drop a ball, like an inflated ball, like in your car, it's just going to fall right down because all the air in that particular area is moving with you. Do you know what I mean?
I guess.
Unless you're like up there on the track and it's crazy windy because of how fast you're moving, then I could get behind that idea. But for the most part, like the air that's around you in that particular area, like there's, I imagine some shielding on that part of the cruise boat. That air is moving along with you.
Well, then I guess the answer is I was just super fucking fast on vacation.
That might be. It might also be that they're not right.
That was my other theory. Was like this doesn't seem like it could be true.
It doesn't add up. Like you look at the track and you're like, God, it looks small.
Yeah.
All right, 8. If they say it's 8, it's 8.
I'm halfway done with this, and it's 2.5 minutes. I mean, that'd be great. I don't think I can submit that for my New York Marathon qualifier.
And one last question: did you guys see stand up on your boat?
No, I did not go to the stand up.
There was stand up though.
It was available, but I did not go.
Okay, I'm very curious.
There was
boat stand up.
One of my one pod of family members went to the the comedy juggler. Oh, and he was not funny and couldn't juggle, which makes it my favorite abstract bit of all time.
Wait, is he just fucking up a lot?
Yeah.
And then like no good timing for his punchlines?
Correct.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And he got that job anyway. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good for him. Dan, I wanted to if we can for a second, steer away from cruises.
Sure.
I don't know if I should even tell you this. I got in another gym altercation.
Buddy.
So it's pretty clear at this point that the problem is me. Right? Like we've been out in the wild together. I'm a mild-mannered person.
Yeah.
I don't look for confrontation. In fact, I hate it. But something about
You hate confrontation, but you do like justice.
I do like justice a lot. That might be the problem. And I like it more in my old age. To the point that I'm becoming one of those type of people who's like, well, maybe I'll just get on next door. Like, when I suffer an injustice, everyone should know about it.
Right.
This man was older than me. And what had happened was I was sitting on a 90-degree bench. You know, the type that you would do for like shoulder presses and stuff.
Yeah.
Or ordinarily you have like the flat benches that you can adjust. And then there's like some that are they're rigid. You can't change them. It's a seat, and then 90 degree up from that is a little back, and that's all you're working with. I was on one of those, and I was doing bicep curls. And I finish with the weights that I've got, and I go to put them away, and there's other weights in the spot. And the gym that I'm going to is like, they're really good about putting weights where they belong. And so I feel an onus to do the same thing. So I'm like, not right. So I take mine out. I take these other weights out. I put mine where they go. I take these weights over to the other side of the big weight thing and put those back. When I come back, there's a man who's probably like 55, and he's sitting on the seat. And I'm like, I do the same thing I always do, which is, sorry, buddy, I've actually got one more set there. That was the extent of it. And usually this is how the interaction goes. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. All right. You said you want more? No problem. That's how it usually goes. This time, I got one more set there. And he goes, no, you don't. And I was like, what? And I laughed. I go, what? And he goes, what do you mean? And I was like, I was on that bench, and I have one more set to do. And he was like, well, wait. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I have one more set. I was on that. I get to do it again. It's like, feeling very self-righteous and getting kind of excited by the fact that this man is wrong. And so like I'm getting louder too, and I'm like, no, I've got one more set there, just let me do it, and then you can have the bench. And he's like, well, where were you? And I was like, doesn't fucking matter. Give me the bench.
You guys know me. You know I love to run. I never stop talking about running. I am dual training right now to increase my speed and to prepare for a half marathon. So I'm always listening to music, and the music helps me dictate the kind of run I'm gonna have. If I'm going for a distance run, I will listen to either a podcast or a playlist of a bunch of musical theater songs that allow me to disassociate. If I'm going for speed, you know I need a lot of bass and a strong beat and a lot of BPM, and it's gotta get me moving fast so I can be going the distance. And Raycon is great for me. It's great for all of those things that I do, whether I'm listening to a podcast or listening to musical theater or listening to music to make me faster. They even have different sound profiles to meet my needs. Pure sound is one that's perfect for podcasts. And meanwhile, bass sound, guess what I use that for, buddies? It's fall, and you know what that means. Everyone's busy. And audio is a big part of my fall schedule. I like to keep my apartment clean for a bunch of fall parties and Halloween stuff that I'm going to have. And there's nothing better than popping in Raycons and listening to my favorite podcast while I'm cleaning the apartment for fall cleaning. That's right, cleaning. It's not just for spring anymore. I love making the podcast secretly incredibly fascinating, a part of my fall routine, and I love using my Raycon wireless earbuds to do it. Go to buyraycon.com/QQ today to score 20% off site-wide for a limited time. Raycon's everyday earpods look, feel, and sound better than ever. Raycon gives you 8 hours of playtime and 32-hour battery life. Raycon's everyday earbuds have over 78,000 5-star reviews, and they're priced just right. You get quality audio at half the price of other premium audio brands. I love the earbud tap functions. I love that they can interact with Siri and Alexa, and I just can talk to them that way. Also, they are IPX6 water and splash resistant. School's back in session, which means Raycon is having their annual back to school sale. For a limited time only, go to buyraycon.com/QQ today to get 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. That's buyraycon.com/QQ. Is it worth it to stop down for our listeners? Because there's if I curl weights once, that's a rep. If I do that 8 times, that's a set. And if and you could do like multiple sets. You work multiple sets on. Typically, you can work multiple sets on one muscle or one muscle group, and then move on to another thing for more sets. Or you could do supersets where you're going back and forth and things. And typical gym courtesy is if someone's got one more set, like Soren is saying here, you could say, oh, by all means, finish your set and I'll go after you, because it doesn't take much for the new guy to wait for you. It does take much for you to interrupt the amount of sets that you were going to do for this particular chunk of your workout. Another alternative to that is like if there is one bench press in the whole gym and you're going on it and you just started, someone can say, can I work in with you? Yes. And then you alternate back and forth on sets, changing weights as needed until you're both until you're
satisfied.
You climax. Or until you can't go anymore, which as it's known in gym culture is called busting. So you both bust.
And then, you have to say it when you're done each time. You say, I bust. I bust.
And then you're a little bit tired, a little bit guilty, but it's whatever. You move on. What this gentleman in Soren's story is suggesting doesn't happen. That's frowned upon.
Sorry. Yeah, I should have given some context here. Yeah. So like, you have an exercise. Like there's a particular exercise you're doing, like a squat. Like squats, that's the exercise. Then within that, you're going to be doing sets, and you probably do 4 sets of different weight. And then within each set, you're doing different reps. That's how many times you go up and down or like do the exercise. So like you're going to do 12 sets for 4 reps, and that's your extra. I mean, 4 reps for 12 sets. God damn it. You're going to be doing 12 reps for 4 sets, and then that's your exercise. And then you move on to a different exercise.
I thought my explanation was clear, but this is better too. I think it's better.
It's good in its own way, I think. And so, generally what happens is if you get to it at the same time or you haven't begun yet, you can say, hey, you want to work in? It's all customary. Like that's normal stuff. This is abnormal behavior for somebody to be like, well, I'm on it now. Yeah. Like to slide in also.
And depending on the exercise, it could be oblique normal behavior.
Yeah, it is.
Put me back to work.
It's so common for you to, even when you get to a bench, to stand there next to it for a second and just look around and be like, I wonder if anyone was using this. Anybody? And then like you're just like making eye contact with people, and sometimes you'll see somebody down the line who's like grabbing new weights, and you're like, "Are you on this?" And they're like, "Yeah," and you're like, "Okay," and that's all like normal gym behavior. This was absolutely wild to me, and that's why I was getting so self-righteous with it. And he's like, at a certain point, he's like, "Well, I'm on it now," and I was like, "You're not yet. I have one more set," and he's like, you guys, you're always off on some other piece of equipment, just sitting there on your phone. And I was like, I ran to the gym and I was like, I don't even have a phone on me. I'm not that fucker.
Wow.
Say fucker loud. And now people are turning and looking.
Yeah, guess why?
And I was like, I was going to put weights away. I'm back now. It took me 5 seconds. And he's like, okay, well, that's all you had to say was that you're putting weights away. And I was like, well, just assume that that's what I'm doing. Assume that for everybody else in this gym, please. And like, I'm now heated and excited by the fact that I'm right.
Yes.
So I'm making some choices that I regret, where I'm like yelling now. And he finally like begrudgingly gets up. I sit down and really take my time. Take my time with my last set.
I don't know, buddy.
Because now I'm like, I'm right. I'm the good guy. No matter what I do from this point on, I'm the good guy. And then I do my set, I put this stuff back, and then I walk away. And I'm off on some other exercise, and I'm still like, he should get more of this. I didn't end up. I had some self-restraint. I didn't ever approach him again. I did walk past him a few times where I was like going to different pieces of equipment to see if he would catch eyes with me, and also to see if, because as I'm like working myself up in some other quadrant of the gym, I'm thinking he should apologize.
Oh no.
He should say I'm sorry to me. Because that never happened. Once he realized that he was in the wrong, all he said was, well, you should have. And that's not what a human being should do. They should apologize when they're wrong. And so like I'm like walking past him being like, I wonder if now that he's had a chance to cool down, and obviously I did not cool down.
Right.
But yeah, he's had a chance to cool down. Maybe he wants to say he's sorry. And wouldn't make eye contact with me. We never talked again. And then by the end I was like, finally had cooled down, and I was like, nope, I'm the problem. I'm the one.
All right.
I'm the guy. These things keep happening because of me. I gotta look into this.
I don't know if they keep happening because of you. I was surprised that you were going to demand an apology, like someone who had
I wasn't gonna
read
demand it.
most of the biography of Julius Caesar and decided you know how it ends. He stays hero and good and loved forever.
I wanted it bad. I wanted him to be like, hey man, I'm so sorry.
Man.
And that didn't happen. And so I was like, he thinks I'm just gonna go away. Well, I'm not. I'm going to stay right here. And just watching me from like a distance just turn into this weird, terrible person.
Yeah, that's very out of character for you.
Yeah, I know. But
I had only
maybe I'm changing.
I had one, not even a gym altercation, but one thing I can't recommend on a cruise ship is going to the gym, because it is too small, and our particular boat on this day was really rocking. So it was the most, I don't get seasick, but this was the closest I thought I was going to like actually vomit, because I'm moving weights as the boat is moving.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't think this is good for people to do. And so it's very cramped, and people are like unsteady on their feet. So the crampedness was a problem, but also you never know if someone's going to tip over into your space or if you're going to tip over. So it was constantly a game of like trying to move as out of the way as you possibly could. And I was never in one spot for too long. I would do one exercise somewhere, and then when I went to go change weights, someone was in that spot. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll wedge myself in between the water fountain and this employee only door, because I can't imagine anyone being there. And there's one very tall, very fit guy who I think only took this cruise to work out at the gym. He kept talking to people while they were working out, and like asking them like standard gym questions about what they're using or how long they're going to be somewhere. And I couldn't ever really hear what he was saying, but he was always talking too much. The conversations were always too long, and they didn't seem friendly or anything. And I could sense the vibe. A lot of us were like me, where we just wanted to like get whatever tiny dipshit workout we can get in and then get out of the situation, because it feels unsafe and unpleasant. And at one point, as I'm wedging myself into different corners, trying to occupy as little space as possible, I find myself next to a rack of pre-weighted bars, like the kinds of like bars that you would do curls on. I'm just like on the ground, and my workout at this point calls for a minute-long plank, so I'm just doing that. And then I feel this guy's presence as I'm doing it, and I hear him above me going like, hey, I don't want you to be scared or anything or nervous. I'm gonna reach over you and get one of these bars. I just don't want you to be surprised, or I don't want you to get up real quick. It's like
very comforting.
it's too many words to say it like a necessary and helpful thing, because you never know. I didn't have headphones on, but there's a chance that I could like get up in the middle of a workout and bonk into something, or just get spooked in some way. But as soon as he's talking to me, I, in full fucking plank, like plank walk away from him so we can have that space. And I'm still like looking at my watch to see how much longer I have to hold this stupid plank. And then he whispers at the back of my head again, you didn't need to move.
Oh my God.
I was just letting you know so you wouldn't be nervous or scared. And I was like, yeah, I got it. And that was the end of our interaction. But I wanted to say so much more. It's like, I'm still doing a thing right now. I don't. Your problem is over now.
For anyone who doesn't go to the gym too, another like big rule, cardinal sin of gym etiquette is talking to somebody while they're in the middle of a set.
Yeah.
Like while they're doing a thing, like if you come up, you're like, how much longer are you on this bench? Or like, do you need the space? Like, don't do it. Just wait. It takes 30 seconds because nobody's going to be doing an exercise for like a super long time.
Right. If you need,
just wait. Just wait.
If you need a 60-pound bar to do curls, don't worry. I can't do a plank for 40 minutes. It's gonna end soon.
This guy just wants to talk, though. He's just like a chatterbox, right? He wants people.
Yeah.
It's so comforting, actually, to know that that's true of gyms, even on a cruise. Because that guy is at every gym.
Yeah.
Every single gym I've ever been to. When I'm staying in a hotel in Hawaii, I will run into that guy. Like, it doesn't matter. There's just a guy there who's like so desperate for conversation.
Yeah.
And I love that guy is also on cruises.
I know. I've done a lot of projecting on this guy. Where it's like, I think he's alone on this cruise. I don't think he's here with friends or family. I think he loves the gym and the pool and can't wait to find a local retro fitness in Bermuda or something like that. This is just a guy who is going to be at the gym all day and I'm going to guess the casino all night. Yeah. Looking to talk to people and make friends.
It's a darker form of like the desperate guy at a gym than anywhere else, I think. I think that everywhere else, it's like you run into chatterboxes all over the world. Like your taxi driver sometimes. There's just like different people where you're like, they want to talk to you so much. Barbers. But at a gym, that guy always just, there's like a menace to it.
Yeah.
That I don't find anywhere else. And I think it's just the type of lifestyle of somebody who's like, I'm going to get as strong as I possibly can, but also I really want to interact with people.
Yeah.
I went to a gym in Tucson when I was staying there over Christmas, and the same guy, I see him 2 days in a row, and he's walking around showing pictures of his new girlfriend to people that he just met.
Yeah.
I know. And I don't think she would like that. Talking about how hot she is and how great the sex is with people. He's like hunting people out, looking for eye contact so that he can have this conversation. And it's like it's not, I mean, there's no like one-to-one violence there, but there's like a real darkness to it that
no, there is. I think there are 1,000 reasons to go to the gym, right? And one of those reasons is I'm going to get so strong that no one can mess with me. I'm going to get so strong and so big. And there's an undercurrent of coiled violence, even if you're not necessarily, if you've never thrown a punch in your life. That is one reason a person can go to the gym. And some of the people who have that as their one reason walk into the gym thinking, yes, these are my people. We are all here for this. We're all here training to be in this strange, aggressive army together. These are my people. And like, some of them are. Many of them are not. Some of us are just like, we like going to the gym, or it's a way to stay healthy, or it's a thing you do with your partner, or whatever it is. A million reasons that don't have a choose your own adventure chapter where one of the options is total mass violence.
Right. You're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely right. And
I think so too. And I like the way I said it.
Introspective enough. I came off as that guy in my last altercation. And so I'm just like, I'm kind of dealing with that if I'm quiet for a second, because I'm just like thinking that through. And how to not be that guy. Because all everyone else knew, because they're all wearing headphones, I start talking to a guy. I walk up to a man. I start talking to him. Then I start yelling at him.
Right.
And then I yell, fucker.
To anyone else within earshot, it's like, I don't even have a phone. I'm not one of those fuckers. This guy doesn't even have a phone. Oh, no. He doesn't even know what the world is like.
I hope he doesn't talk to me. I hope he doesn't talk to me.
Where does he get his news? How does he talk to his family?
There's a guy at my current gym who is a real chatterbox. Maybe I talked about him on this podcast already. He is a guy who is desperate to make eye contact with you so that just a conversation can start. And I've never given it to him. I refuse to give it to him. And so he will come and like, he wants to talk. He knows everybody. He knows every single person in the gym. So when he walks in, he says their names, he gives them a fist bump, and he wants it from me because I'm not giving it to him. Man. And so he will come over if I'm doing dips or something like that, or pull-ups. He'll come over and be on like the assisted machine next to it. And he'll be like, it's a hot one out there. Just like talking to himself, just hoping that it's like anything he throws at the wall, something will catch. And I give him nothing. Mm-hmm. And he's relentless. It's not like he's like, well, this guy doesn't seem to want to talk. Every time I go now, and then he's escalated it to where he gets on his phone next to me, or I think probably does this to other people who are not also with it. He gets on his phone and starts having a conversation he thinks is very interesting about what he's going to be doing later, and then hangs up. So I don't even know if the phone call's fucking real. But like talking a lot about a concert or like his weekend, and then hanging up. And so the hope, I think, is that someone's like, oh man, you're going to Vegas? I love Vegas. It's not going to, he's not going to get that. And it's driving him mad. And I don't know how to fix it because
you can't.
I don't want to indulge it, but I seem to be escalating the situation.
We talked about this years ago. A guy at a coffee shop, the local coffee shop in the town where I used to live, very small town, and he was in the coffee shop every day. I was too. I was working every day out of the coffee shop, and he knew everybody and wanted to talk to everybody, and I was not engaging with him, and it went on for months until he finally was just like stopped me in line and was like, I see you every day and I don't know your name or what you do. And we did the same story before, but I said, that's interesting, as a way of shutting that down, like to do my very best to communicate a message to him that was like, I don't want to talk. You don't need to know everybody's name or what they do. Like, I don't know most people's names or what they do, and that's okay. But like, there's no people like this guy at the coffee shop and this guy at your gym. If they self-identify as a friendly person, and for all we know, they are friendly people, they can't conceive of a world where people wouldn't want to know them, and they think, I just haven't had the right fake phone call yet, or I haven't said the right thing loud enough around him to perk his interest. So I got it, because he'll like me. I just got to find the right thing. And like a baseline entitlement of, I get to talk to everybody, no matter what they're doing. That is, in certain circumstances, very menacing and dangerous.
I think it goes right back to what you were saying before about like, they're like, these people come in thinking, no, this is my community. I didn't have one before, and this will be it.
Right.
And so like, when that's their community, they're like, and we all know each other because this is the community. And who is this person who keeps coming to the community, doing their shit and leaving without saying hello to anyone? That's rude. Yeah. And so in their mind, they're like, they're trying to do you a favor. They're like, you maybe don't know this. You're being pretty rude to everybody here. All right, well, let's end the show.
Yeah, all right.
All right. Well,
I hope you don't think too seriously about this being your villain turn.
It's not. I mean, I didn't like how I acted at the end, and I did do some good introspection about that, and it makes me think like next time how I could handle it better. But in the moment, it felt so good. Good. And that's troubling.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
hey, man, that's just what happens when you bust. The show was Quick Question, but you knew that already. We are recorded, edited, and produced by the irreplaceable Gabe Harder. Our theme song is by the incredible Me Rex. Their digital album is available at merex.bandcamp.com. And also, follow them on Twitter, because they've got some exciting stuff coming out in the next couple of weeks. And you can follow them on Twitter at MeRexBand, all one word. They have an album coming out, and I want to say what the date is, but the date is in British. So is that
okay? It goes day first, then month.
I think it's October 20th, 2023, or it's the 10th day of a different month.
They do day first, then month.
Okay, yeah, 10/20/23. Giant Elk, the new album.
Were you concerned that maybe it was the 20th month you didn't know about that they have one of those in England?
Yeah, I thought like maybe like some they don't have all 26 letters in every alphabet, so maybe in the UK somewhere they're like, no, 20 is a much rounder number than 12. So we just our Christmas is on the 20th month.
Well, to go check that out. Go listen to their music. They're wonderful. They made such a good theme song for us.
I wonder. I mean, if they've got a tour coming up, very far away from us, I wonder if they ever, under any circumstances, play that song live. I have to guess no.
Oh man, that would be so exciting for me to find that out. Hey, do you all? Yeah. Well, listen, this next song we're gonna play, I need about 10 minutes to explain what it is.
Right. Or just they're at a big show in the UK somewhere, and someone's like, "Oi, play a quick question." And they'll just be like, "No, we don't practice that song, you idiot."
Yeah, I want to know if the live version's different. If they do like a little jam band thing where like there's also like a little solo in the middle of it.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Goodbye.
Bye.
I've got a quick question for you, alright? I wanna hear your thoughts, I wanna know what's on your mind. I've got a quick question for you, alright? The answer's not important, I'm just glad that we could talk tonight. So what's your favorite? How did you get? When will I be remembered? Was it ever? Where did all the right know? Oh, forget it. Soren, Louis, Daniel O'Brien, two best friends and comedy writers. If there's an answer, they're gonna find it. I think you'll have a great time here. I think you'll have a great time here.